For decades, scientists have believed depression is linked to lower levels of serotonin in the brain. That belief has shaped treatment and helped create a multi-billion-dollar market for antidepressant drugs. But it may be wrong. According to research published in the journal Molecular Psychiatry, there is no convincing evidence that problems with serotonin actually cause depression. The findings stand to change the way depression is treated and the use of antidepressants going forward. For more, I want to bring in Dr. Mitch Prinstein. He's the Chief Science Officer at the American Psychological Association. Dr. Prinstein, I'm going to do something you're not supposed to do, which is ask you a triple-barreled question. First of all, What is serotonin? What did we think about it before this study? And what is the new way to think about it now?
Sure. Okay. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter. It helps to move signals from one neuron in the brain to other neurons in the brain. We know that selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, or SSRIs, Prozac is a really common one people know about, has been effective in reducing symptoms of depression. So people thought that maybe a lack of serotonin was the problem, was the reason why people were getting depressed. Now we know that that's probably not the best explanation.
So, doctor, does that mean for SSRIs, they were hitting a target, but it was just a different one than people thought? There's not the implication here that it's all a placebo effect, that people taking SSRIs are feeling better, but only because it's psychosomatic.
It's probably not a placebo effect, but I think the takeaway here is that genius. We see for other people. So we have to treat this as a whole class of very different kinds of presentations.
Doctor, we lost you there for a second. I think you were saying that depression is a complex thing with many factors associated with it. What does this study mean then for the future of antidepressants and the SSRIs that are out there now?
When people are experiencing depression, they probably need to think about a whole array of possibilities to help them to feel better. So there's talk therapy or psychosocial treatments, there's SSRIs, and there's a combination of both. And people should really explore which one is best for them, because this science confirms what we've known in psych science for a little while, which is that not one explanation can really help us understand the whole nature of depression.
And I'd like to linger on that for just a moment, because I can imagine somebody taking an SSRI now might be kind of alarmed by these findings as undermining the regime of treatment that they're under. So what would your advice be to those who are currently taking SSRIs in the context of this new study?
I think if you're already taking SSRIs and you're feeling like it's working for you, it probably makes sense to remain on them. Of course, consult with a trained professional to make sure that what you're doing feels safe and is appropriate. But if they're not working so well for you, consider that that just might not be the explanation for your depression. And there are a range of different psychosocial therapy approaches that people also try. And some of those are incredibly effective with or without the use of any drugs.
And finally, doctor, what's the next step based on this research in terms of being able to treat depression, or the conversation that clinicians might have with people who are facing depression?
Well, look, 1 out of 5 young women before the age of 25 is experiencing a major depressive episode. 1 out of 10 young men. So this is something we clearly need a lot more research on, so we can develop effective treatments that can reach everybody and will catch all the different forms of depression, since it seems now very clear that there's a whole bunch of different ways that people might get depressed.
All right, Dr. Mitch Prinstein, thank you so much for helping us understand this.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.